Hey guys, welcome back to the Prime Dude. Your host Rob Edwards here. It's going to be another great show. For those of you coming back, subscribe to the show. Thank you for joining us again. For those of you who are new, thanks for giving me a try. What I do in shoe reviews, and this one is for CNES Shoemaker. It is a split toe, apron toe, split toe style, STD, split toe derby. That is the acronym they have on the website. And so what I do is I go over everything in the shoe. I'm going to take you through the website really quick, show you the Instagram account. Then I take you over to the shoe table where I get into the details of what the hand welt looks like, the leather, which is Vagano calf, beautiful leather that they use from Deanna. I go through all of those details, and then I close this review out after wearing them. So this is just not, a one-stop shop where I unbox, tell you how great they are, where a lot of times these guys that do that, they're being paid or the shoes are sent to them for free, and I don't care what they say. If someone sends you a pair of shoes, you're going to go light on the review. And I bought these. As with every shoe I've done, I have not accepted a free pair of shoes. These are out of my own pocket. There's no bias here. I've had some companies offer a code for me to get some commission, but they would not offer you guys a discount. And I won't do it. I will not take a commission code, an affiliate code, as they say, unless it extends a discount to you. So, CNES Shoemaker, they're out of Saigon. Right? This beautiful shoe, it is gorgeous. We're going to get close to it in a second. Out of Saigon, Vietnam. Let's take a look at the website. And first I'm going to go to Instagram. It's really, before I go to a website, I'm usually seeing these companies on Instagram, and I had heard of CNES Shoemaker. Now, to get out in front of this, nobody knows. If you find out what CNES stands for, I'd love for you to drop it in the comments, but nobody I could find or talk to knows, and they won't tell you I asked. But it's a pretty cool. I love the logo, and I love what they show. They're very current on Instagram. They're a very hot brand and pretty well known on YouTube and in the shoe world. And so after going to Instagram, I went to the website, and this is the shoe that caught my eye. It really stood out. I did not have a dressy split toe derby, and I think all derbies are different. This is clearly a formal looking derby in a beautiful square style last. Now this is on the right, the regular brown, and then of course the dark brown. When you hit the colors over here, it doesn't take you to a unique link, so be careful. They just couple all the pictures together. They're great pictures, but I went with this dark brown on the left. Now they've got the Saigon dollars over here, right? And when I change it, I got to kind of flip back. It goes to less than 500. Now that's a decent price for a shoe made in Asia, in Southeast Asia, in Vietnam. This is in the Yearn Shoemaker range, right? These are gorgeous shoes. Are they that quality? Because if you saw my review, I was pretty strong on Yearn Shoemaker with a few things I needed you to know about the experience of wearing them. But overall, extremely high quality shoe. Can CNES Shoemaker step up in that area? I think they had a really good shot. Obviously, I ordered them. I want to give you some ideas on the sizing here. Normally, I am out the door a 44 or a 43.5 EU sizing, but they've got a different sizing scale over there at CNES Shoemaker. And of course, they offer free returns and exchanges, and I had to do that on my first pair, and I had to up to a 45 from a 44. And it's a perfect fit. I want to get that right out of the way. So we know how to get there. You know the website. What's really cool too, I almost forgot. This is why I do this. I want to make sure you don't miss it. Up top, this discount, this DEC 25 off code has been there for months. It was from last season, so probably approaching a year. Last holiday season, they're not getting rid of it. It's called a season sale, and it knocks off 25% if you get one pair. I don't recommend going for two until you've locked in your size ever. Even though they take refunds, it's a hassle, especially if you live in the US or Europe, to ship something back and forth to Saigon. Now, they offer a decent out-of-pocket shipping option. I think it was about $36 US for me to send them back. Not too bad. And then they will ship the replacement in your size once you lock it in. But keep that in mind, because I took this down. I'm going to update it again. You always have to go back, and then boom. I got these for just about $408 with everything from that code. So do not miss it. That is big savings, especially if you end up really liking the shoes, and maybe I did. So we know what we've got here. We know how to get there. We know it's a classy outfit. We know from reading online they got a pretty darn good reputation. Let's take a close look. If you're new here, I will get up close at the shoe table and get into the details of the apron stitching. Right? That's what this calls, this split toe pie crust stitching that makes it a split-toe derby. Talking about the vamp, the leather quality, which is Vagano calf. We're going to get right into it over the shoe table, and then afterwards, I'm going to jump right into how they wore, how they styled, because that's the most important thing. I've got them in my hands. I put them on my foot. I traveled in them, and that's how you learn if you want to take a chance on these, because I'm trying to what I call mitigate your risk. I want to make this as best of an experience as possible if you spend your hard-earned money on a pair of CNES Shoemaker shoes. CNES Shoemaker split-toe derby from the folks that worked very nicely with me to get the sizing correct after a couple tries. Nice feel of the bag, almost a velvet feel with the shoe bag. I do love that logo. Nice logo there. Ooh. Okay. We're in business. Look at that fiddle-back waist. It's one of the things that got me excited about this shoe. So nice presentation. They really take the time to pack it well. The leather quality is excellent. I can tell right off the bat. Very similar to the monk strap that I've reviewed on this channel from Yearn Shoemaker. So that is definitely a look. I don't even realize they were the same or similar style. But let's get the box out of the way, and I'm going to take a look at the other shoe as well and see the condition. So moving on with a closer look, this is the right shoe. First of all, great leather quality though, and an A. I do love this burnished look in the light. The split-toe derby model in the V-last here in this solitaire line, which you can see that on the insole there, which is vegetable tanned leather insole. The solitaire line is one of their higher end lines, but they really don't advertise the lines on the website. But this is advertised, if you do some deeper research, with Annonay leather. That's for the French tannery that's so famous for their quality, and I definitely see this. Starting at the toe, this is reminiscent of Yearn Shoemaker's split toe derby that I have, but it's actually a monk strap. I've done that review. Check it out. I'll link it down below. An odd coincidence because this is also pie crust stitched, right? That fanning, that fudging they have there, or the pinking style, that is pie crust around this apron stitched derby, right? Apron, that shape around the vamp. So beautiful. I'm definitely partial to that in a derby. I do like some design than a plain toe if I have a choice. So it's a beautiful, beautiful craftsmanship in the shoe. The burnish of this leather looks so much better than the website. You should check that out. And of course, it's a derby lacing system on top, but I'd say a more formal derby because the brass buttonholes are, and actually aren't any. Oh, there are, yeah. Those are on the inside. So it's still a derby with the lacing system on top of the vamp, but a formal look, a shoe that can be worn with a suit. It's a dark enough brown to make it formal enough, but I do love the darker burnishing around the stitching. So you see that contrast, and you see that it gives it dimension as opposed to a hole cut. If you get a hole cut, you need a very classy, sleek, and refined last. Like looking from the front here, this last has some really nice shape. So bravo there. I'm a big fan of this V-last already. I do feel like some lasts on my average width foot are just bulky and round with space and around the upper of my foot. This, I believe, is going to fit much nicer. I do know that this one does fit since getting out of the box. I tried it on. So we're good on the size, and I had to know because I've had to figure that out. Just something I'll talk about in the main part of the show, but this is a 45. Assuming they use European sizing, then you have to size up one whole size with these guys. I'm typically a 44, so I didn't want to forget to mention that. We'll stay on the sole here. It is a closed channel stitch sole, so you do not see the hand-welt stitching, which is such a neat look, especially with this beautifully engraved CNES logo, which nobody outside of a few people, I imagine, know what it stands for. I thought I could find it. I can't. Would love if somebody could. But again, it says construction, hand-welted, and the size here. And this is a kind of a burnish look on the rubber heel. It has not been worn. There are no scratches. If it has been tried on, they did it on carpet, but shoe's in great shape. Again, great last, great leather quality. Heel stack counts to, let's get up here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So really nice quality there. Definitely luxury shoe sign to have a nice stack with the 1/4-inch rubber heel in the back. And of course the backstay style. This is what they call, I always say U-butt, but it's butt U shape.
B-U-T-T space U-shaped. And that's what it is. That's what they call this. There's some other names. That's the one I remember. This is definitely a European style to the backstay as opposed to the dogtail or the flag you see in a number of shoes. So just a nice nod to European shoemaking. You see this also in English shoes, this butt U-shaped backstay at the heel. Some nice curvature at the heel, the side profile, just all kinds of good shape and dimension to this shoe. And then the heel stiffener is fully leather, right? Leather stiffened. And I said vegetable tan leather insole already. Fully leather lined, very soft feel when I put it on. Nice dimension here, a blind waist for sure. The stitching of the hand welt is tucked in pretty nicely with the cool wheeling or pinking along the outsole there. I will have to count the stitches per inch using this part, which is a little tougher because I won't be able to on the sole with the closed channel stitching. Of course, I almost missed, can't remember if I mentioned the fiddle-back waist. That is amazing touch. It's definitely something that comes with the solitaire line, and not much when you see a basic or a standard made to order at $425, that is still a nice touch. That is not always the case. So bravo there. Nice tacking on the back, evenly spaced from the outer edges of the heel, which is important. I don't always see that. I saw some little difference in that distance with Yearn shoes, for instance, but just great construction, double stitching along this backstay as opposed to a single layer of stitching at the saddle and along the lacing system. Don't know what else I could have missed. It's time to do stitches per inch. Let's do that and see how we measure on quality. Measurements done. I'll choose my words carefully. I'll say I was a little surprised. The welt measurement, which hits the minimums, was almost 6, which you really want to be around 6 for a Goodyear or hand welt to get as a master quality measurement. So we're right there where we need to be. Again, it feels like a very strong shoe. You don't know if that's going to matter long term or not, but it is a sign of quality, as we've discussed before. And at the upper, I got a little over 9. I measured at a couple spots. The best place was along the derby, the lacing system, and because it's straight, you can see I can get a straight line here. And I did try to measure at the saddle, with the apron stitching. You really shouldn't; those are more decorative. And 9 is okay. If you're into this discussion and argument, you'd say it should be more for a $425 hand-welted shoe. It's not a massive, game changer for me. It is surprising considering shoes half this price are coming in 12 plus stitches per inch on the upper. So it is something to be mindful of. This shoe, this company has received really good reviews, and I'll talk about that more in the show. But, to get away from the shoe table, that's a discussion for style and everything. I do wonder, at $425, they sell a lot of these shoes, but I wonder how many are international with all of the competition. People like me who find CNES also know about everything else that's available in Asia at a lower cost, but you do get an excellent shoe here. Again, I'm going to wear the heck out of this coming up, and so the final review is going to be how this stands up, how it feels. It feels similar, but a little softer, a little easier to break in, I think, than the Yearn Shoemaker A551, which you need to read that review. There's a lot of hype about Yearn. They make great shoes. They look good, but it's important to hear the reviews from people like me that really wear them and break them in and tell you how that experience is going to be. I'm going to do the same here with the CNES Shoemaker apron derby here, this split-toe derby in this beautiful brown, obviously. They say it's kind of a dark brown, but I think in the light it kind of looks more mid. Depends on, that's the beauty of burnishing and shadowing. It'll change looks in light. So nice work with the anime leather there. Excited to wear these. Stay tuned. Here it comes. The final part of the review, the wear and use and the styling of this beautiful shoe from CNES Shoemaker.
Okay, those are gorgeous shoes. I mean, out of the box, it was really fun unboxing them and sharing that with you, as I say, live. Meaning those are the first time I had a chance to see those, feel them, and get up close. And as you learned from the shoe table, I absolutely love the look and feel of the shoes. Of course, trying them on, they fit. How do they do? Well, these are fantastic shoes out of the box to wear. I was blown away by how comfortable they were on the second or third wear. When I do these initial wears, I do it for about 2 weeks. I'll wear them for at least 4 really full days. That includes airport travel, lots of walking in what I do in my suits and my dress shoes. And so I can really put these to the test quickly, and I give these an absolute A+ on the wear and use. And when styling a derby, a lot of people, they say you can't wear them with suits. That's absolute, I want to borrow my grandpa's term, hogwash, because these are a suit derby. Why is that? Now, I'm not saying wear this with your most formal dark color, dark navy, dark or charcoal gray suits, your business suits. Probably not, even though you could, okay? But why is this derby good for your more mid-business or casual suits? Because it's the last shape. We talked about it at the shoe table. It's very sleek. So the last of a shoe can make it dressier. Case in point, I have a pebble grain split toe derby that I absolutely love for Beckett. I love it from Beckett Simon. But let's talk about the pebble grain. That review's coming out. Pebble grain casualizes the leather a bit, the shoe a bit. And also, let's look at the last. It's a wider, as Oki from Ask Oki would say, chunkier last. So you combine that with the pebble grain. You've got a rubber sole. You've got a bigger, more comfortable, in some regards, more size in it last. That makes it a more business casual shoe, a shoe that I would not wear with a suit. But for this, absolutely. Again, I always say it. James Bond wore a derby with his suit. Now, this derby isn't, without some decoration. And I think sometimes the more stitching, like with broguing, it does casualize a shoe a little bit. So I would recommend this as your alternate to, if you've got a black cab toe Oxford, then this is a great alternative shoe. If you've got a black and a brown in a more formal shoe, this is a fantastic. It is dark brown, a little lighter on the dark side, not like an espresso super dark brown, but it's dressy as heck. Again, the last is sleek. You're going to be doing really well in suits. And of course, your business casual or your kind of snappy business casual with slacks and a nice coat with a tie, this is the shoe for you. So bravo CNES Shoemaker. What I haven't told you yet is I had such a great experience with these is I ordered another pair. I've already received them because I had my size locked in at 45, and it's been just a brilliant experience. Now, this pair of shoes, this one took a couple months to get because they were made to order. And I actually, when I got these and tried them on, this was a little while ago when I did the shoe table portion. And so I immediately jumped and ordered this beautiful hole-cut Norwegian, not split toe, Norwegian Oxfords. Beautiful shoe, and I can't wait to give you the review on those and get up close to those. That'll be coming in a bit, some others to share with you before that. But, guys, this is an awesome company. I'm really impressed. The website is not the greatest. You got to be careful when you look at the pictures because you can see here the dark browns on the left, and when you switch the color option, it doesn't switch for you. If I were CNES, I would update that a bit. I think people, I would imagine, have probably ordered the wrong color maybe by mistake, and I really wanted something darker. I think darker brown is just a bit more versatile over the seasons. Drop your questions down below. If you've ordered from CNES Shoemaker, let me know your experience. Let me know what you think. Make a recommendation. If I go to them again and those codes are up top, by all means, I'm going to probably order 2 pair and take advantage of 35% off. Hopefully those are there kind of permanent. Maybe they forgot about them. I don't know. Maybe with the economy and some of the tariffs going on, they're going to keep that up for quite a while. But again, I can recommend CNES Shoemaker. If you get one of their ready to wear, like this one is on sale, this split toe derby is on sale in some sizes. They're gonna get to you in about 10 days. If you got to do the made to order, I can say they're probably worth it. Just communicate with them about your size. Send them an outline of your foot if you want to feel better, especially on the first. But I do not recommend you do one of their 60 to 90 day made to orders for your first. That'll cut it for here, guys. That's it. Thanks again. Like, subscribe, turn on your alerts, drop comments down below. Thank you so much for your support. It's an honor to be able to share my experience of shoes and clothes and other lifestyle and business things with you. And as always, stay prime.